Hello everyone, it's me, Hyper here, and welcome to, well, a new series for Horizon Phoenix. It's our multiplayer car league. There's 4 teams here, 5 drivers in each, round 1 at Bahrain. It's full quali, 50% as you can see. Weather is dynamic, qualifying, and the race has these weather condition, well, not weather, sorry, start time. Here are the assists. No AI, assist restrictions, and those are my settings. Anyway, let me just chuck the link into the chat. And there we go. And the link's in the chat. We're all ready. Anyway, I might as well just run you through the teams as we get into this. We've got all 20 drivers here, and me as well, the commentator. Anyway, we've got team number 1, which is run by F1 Buttons Back, called Drive Forest Drive. Now, Drive Forest Drive has 5 drivers, like every team should have. Hopefully they've all actually got their liveries on for once. It was actually hard enough to get most of them too, but anyway. So Button is the team captain with Colin, Sanka, Flex Marcel and ER Storm Phoenix. Then we have Stray Dog Racing, captained by Deadwood Bear. Along with him we have Ryder, Shadow Britain, T-Funky and Rai Rai. For our third team, we have, well, name to come. I don't know what they wanted to be called. I believe it was something like American Dream, which is kind of narcissistic, but whatever. American Dream, captained by LT Cobalt. They have Cobalt, Swanee, Splinter, Killer Clown, and Conal. And finally, we have Career Enders, the Mickey take of EastEnders, with Nico, Joe, Racing Maestro, J-Jig, and Anton Bennett. Many drivers from Rising Phoenix F1 and F2, and some new faces as well, who we've not actually seen before in Rising Phoenix. So to me, that's quite interesting. Anyway, it's a full quali session, which was my personal first full quali session to have ever spectated. Well, I'm not actually retired from it. Obviously, see Thursday's stream on my channel if you want to know what I'm on about there. But anyway, looks like we do have a few people coming out. Now, many teams will be sharing garages with each other, which could screw up setups. But Rai Rai is the first man on his lap. Now, let's see. He is in the green livery of Stray Dog Racing. So these dogs in a nice green sunburst livery. Shadow Britain also out for the same team. Nico obviously sporting his nice blue livery for Career Enders, along with Jay. Swanee in his red livery, along with the rest of American Dream. And Buttons Back in the orange. Orange and green, that's a very, very weird livery for Drive Forest Drive. Anyway, we will go, and who should we spectate first? Who's the first around the track? Obviously, we don't really know who's where, but it looks like Swanee and Shadow Britain have already had a coming together, which is giving Swanee a 5-place grid penalty. Not going to be a good start from Swanee. And if that grid penalty is given, I don't know how this game does grid penalties, but if it's given very early, Swanee could be in a lot of trouble. Anyway, we're going to ride here with Rai Rai for his flying lap. I see a lot of pressure on Rai Rai. He spends a lot of time at the end of the gears. Who's the second man to start their lap? It will be LT Cobalt on the hards. So many people choosing the softs, many also choosing the hards, with Colin being the only man on the mediums so far. Obviously, this is a team event, so you earn points for your team as well as for yourself. How it works is first place gets 20, second 19, third 18, fourth 17, etc, etc, all the way down to 20th where they get 1 point. However, you must have finished at least 25% of the race. If the race is on an odd number, we round it down to the nearest even number. And Rai looks to have gone off track here. It's not a very good corner from him there, and this could be some bad times for him. Anyway, there's also fastest lap for pole position, as well as point for pole position, as well as a point for fastest lap. As Rai spun it on the exit of the fast right-hander. This is not good for him, and he's going to have to avoid Cobalt, who will be coming behind him. Oh, as we'll move on to LT Cobalt, the man who's currently looking to set a good time for his team. He is the team's leader after all. The captain, leader, legend. And it's a 1:30 dead on for Cobalt, a 1:39 for Rai. The next, and IRT Splinter goes on pole over 129.6 on the hards, beaten then by Swanee for 129, 128 for Buttons back. And already a lot of times went through Shadow Britain also with a decent enough time. See many drivers at the moment just trying to set a good enough lap to get through Q1. See, that's all you need. All you need is a good enough lap to get through. You know, if you're not good enough to get through, then you'll have to wait quite a while. That's probably why most drivers are coming out now. Oh, there seems to have been some sort of accident there, or a driver slowing down. But anyway, a lot of drivers have set their lap times. It looks like the 1:30s will be a time to beat at the moment, because obviously 15th place, 15th or 16th, I believe, is a cut-off point. But anyway, watching now with Flex Marcel, a good hot youngster who's got to prove what he's worth as he puts himself in 7th position. Not the best of times considering Splinter's up there on the hards, doing really well so far. Maestro in 2nd as well. And it looks like most drivers have come out to set a lap at the moment. Rai definitely going to have to improve at this point in time. Anyway, we can't really see the drivers who are in the pits, but as far as I can tell you, it looks like most of them, well, actually, not most of them, but everyone's still got a driver who's yet to set a lap. With, well, and quite a few of them are still in the pits, as Willow sets a time of 1:28 as well. Obviously, it's not about getting the fastest lap here, it's just about getting yourself through. And if you're a racer, you want to get yourself through. And as it looks like Killer Clown will be trying his best here. There's been a yellow flag. I'm not sure who that is, because obviously multiplayer cars, you only see the white, making commentating for it a little bit harder. But anyway, Killer Clown coming in, and it's not much of an improvement. Actually, I don't even think it was an improvement at all, was it? We're just going to have a look at the American. Oh, it was. It came from 1:33 to 1:32. And Conal's just come out now, and he's going to be trying to get the fastest lap possible for his team. Remember, lads, you only need a decent lap. You don't need to go all out. So currently, the guys probably at the top at the moment, like Buttons back, should be pretty satisfied with what they've got so far. Whereas the guys nearest the bottom, most of them yet to set a lap, should be worried. Obviously, once everyone has set a lap, you can kind of determine pace. However, until that moment comes, it will not be good for you. Anyway, it looks like Button is running out of fuel. Oh, not Button, sorry. Colin is running out of fuel. And he's going to go straight into the pits. Anyway, we're going to move on to Conal, who seems to be coming around to start his flying lap in just a second. Anyone actually on a flying lap at the moment? I don't think they are. Oh, Killer Clown is, but I believe he's always been on the flying lap. Anyway, Conal is going to start his. He's the only man to watch at the moment, so we are watching it. 17th position. He's got a lot to answer to. Having the number 69, what a lad. Anyway, Conal now driving down through the first sector. At the moment, his time to beat is a 1:39, just to keep himself in. However, obviously those times have to be beat. That time will no doubt be beaten by many people. Meaning that at the moment, he's going to want a decent enough time to get himself through. Anyway, into the second sector. I think his main hope will be to beat the other hard runners at this point. Obviously that being Splinter at the moment. That being the highest one out there. If you can beat the best hard runner, then you should have a good time. Obviously this is trio, well not trio quali, but full quali, so he's going to want to do his best. And there may be a point where drivers do think about possibly retiring. You know, just to have them done. Or have it done. But anyway, not Bazooka Joe, my apologies. Conal comes in, puts himself in a solid 10th. Deadwood Bear now, also coming through. This should be top 10, most likely, as yes it is. It's a 5th position from Deadwood Bear. Someone else just set a lap as well, however I didn't see it. Oh, LG Cobalt going first for 1:28.1. Really going all out so far, as Bazooka Joe plops himself in second. Rai does improve, however not by much. Storm Phoenix now on his flying lap. Not related to Rising Phoenix, by the way. He just has the name Phoenix. And he's being tailed by two drivers now from the American Dream, the not all American team that only has 2 drivers for America, 1 Irishman and 1 angry Scotsman, and a Splinter, because why not? Anyway, Anton Bennett still yet to set a lap as well. Both of them at a risk of being out at the moment. These guys definitely going to have to push it to the limit. At the moment, the time to beat is a 1:30.6. You do not want to be any of the drivers currently looking to be out. You want to be in there to win it. As that's not good getting it on the curb. You need to get into those 1:29s. But the times are at the moment very, very tight. You know, everyone within the time frame is within 2 seconds of each other. It's going to be very, very tight. Even Conal, someone in Rising Phoenix F1, is only in 14th. A good lap from Anton and Storm Phoenix, and you can see Conal out of this. But Storm Phoenix is set at 1:32.4, just beating Killer Clown and Rai. And it was Killer Clown who was tailing him. He's on a fresh pair of softs. Anton also on an outlap. So Killer Clown currently out so far. He needs to improve by a hell of a lot. Same as Rai here. Currently a few seconds off the pace. Now I'd just like to let you know, if any driver does anything bad, it will not be blamed on the team. The driver will just, so for example if it's a points deduction, it'll be from the driver but not from the team. So the team Obviously, they didn't really get to choose their driver specifically. Some were just given to them because of how we did the drivers. But the drivers will be punished themselves, the teams will not be. So do not worry, and if a driver gets kicked, we'll find a replacement for that team as soon as possible. I mean, if you want to join the league, then get in touch, because we are looking for reserves at this moment in time. Anyway, Killer Clown needs to beat his 132. Bazooka Joe has retired. Killer Clown currently a better sector 1 by 8 tenths, a better sector 2 by 5 thousandths. Is this enough to set him higher? It's a 131.8. That's 17th. Currently not good enough. Storm Phoenix has left the session. Need time to invite him back. Cobalt, can you invite Storm Phoenix back, please? Thank you. If you heard that, that was Cobalt. Just saying yes. So hopefully Storm Phoenix can get that invite back as quickly as possible. Rai currently at the back. Let's see. Only Bazooka Joe has retired though. Many of the drivers not really wanting to take the risk. Let's see, if you're in the pits at this moment in time, you should be a little bit worried. And if further to the back you are. So at the moment, Storm Phoenix, Rai, Shadow Britain, and Conal all in that. And Colin, all in that zone where they are out at the moment. But these guys do need to improve by a hell of a lot. As Killer Clown riding over the bumps there, that's not really how you take that corner. Many drivers need to improve at this moment. You know, you want 129.5, maybe a good time. Killer Clown, it's a 131.3. It's an improvement, but it's not good enough. Don't know. I'm just trying to see if Storm Phoenix has been invited back, or if he's lagged out or whatever. Be a bit annoying if he has. Colin is on a lap. I'm very interested to see what he can do. Also, so is Conal. Obviously, Conal's on the softs here. And it's going to be a 128.7, and he's in 7th position. As we go now to Colin. You know, we're at the point of 1 minute 50. Or 1 minute 30 for some drivers, actually. You know, you really want to think you should just retire if you're in the pits. Because unfortunately, many of them will be in the position where, you know, they can't. An improvement wouldn't give them anything. It would just confirm they're in. Anyway, Colin coming through. He needs to improve by at least 1 position. At least. Nico's still on a lap. Cobalt's retired. What can Colin do for us here? Anton's retired. He's happy with 10th. Anyone in the top 10 is more or less confirmed safe at this moment. As Collins is a 129.3, putting him 13th, which has now put Nico in the hot seat. Will a team captain be one of the first people out? It could be likely. Looking to sit Shadow Britain on an outlap as well. Killer Clown, I think, knows he may be out. Storm Phoenix is back in. I don't think he'll have enough time though to get back in his car and then set a lap. This may be curtains for him. Right also on a lap. Nico's trying to set a 129 dead on. He is probably very happy about that, which leaves Sanka now in the mud. See, not much time left. Shadow Britain has just started a lap himself. Some teams here are really going to have to push it. As I believe that was Jajik who just joined to the top 10 there. I wasn't really sure. Actually, no, it wasn't. Who was it then? It might have been Swanee getting to the 128s. All I saw was Anton got pushed down a position. Anyway. ER Storm Phoenix is confirmed to be done. That's his quali over. He is unfortunately out at this point. Anton has retired. T-Funky has retired. We've got a yellow flag in the third sector. There is a car parked there. Shadow really pushing it. Killer Clown still somehow on an outlap. Oh no, he's confirmed out. That's Killer Clown gone. Can Rai make it through? See, each point counts at this point in time. Well, each position counts. You know, getting out of Q3 may really help some drivers. As Rai is confirmed in 20th. Shadow Britain comes through for 1:29.2, and that has saved him for now. But it's not going to save him. It's not. Even if Sanka doesn't beat him, he's been beaten by Flex Marcel, who's currently up in 15th. Sanka, you're dead. Can he beat a 1:29.4? This will be a miracle for him if he can. And it's a 1:28.6. Sanka is safe. And it looks like it may be Flex Marcel. Colin, please just retire. Cheers. I actually think that's curtains of Flex Marcel. A 1:29.2 will not be enough to save him. This may be a very, very decisive moment. Obviously, we'll have to confirm it in just a second. However, I'm very worried for some drivers here. Looking at the teams, let's see, I'll just get my XP done. Looking at the teams, most are through. Swanee's got his 5-second penalty for something he didn't do, but Button has lost 2 drivers here. Very close to getting a third. He's lost Flex and Storm Phoenix. Very close to losing Colin as well. Then Cobalt has lost Killer Clown. And Deadwood Bear, or Stray Dog Racing, has lost Rai. Meaning that Nico's team is the only team so far to have kept all their drivers. And the worst driver in that was Nico. Very thrilling at the moment. Just a second off the pole time from Flex. That is how scary this is. That is scary. Anyway, we move to Q2. As we only have 15 drivers left. These 15 will fight out for a top 10 position. And may I remind you that as per normal F1 rules, you have to qualify, well, you have to start the race on the tyres that you qualify on in these. As already Shadow Britain has tweeted this out. And we have our first car coming out. I've realised I have to put this back on. And quite a few cars actually coming out. And it's not J-Jig to start off with, that's for sure. In fact, it is Colin who will be starting us off with a lap. Obviously, this wasn't in order of Q1. However, these drivers do know that this is a fight to get into Q3. Where they'll just have to go on soft runs till the end. You know, they'll have to fight for the softs. Or on the softs, which is where pure speed comes into play. You know, Q1, there's not really much strategy involved. Q2 is a hell of a lot. You know, you want to get into the top 3. Well, top 10, sorry. Or you want to be dead on 11th. That's what I say, at least. And my reasoning being, you know, if you're not in the top 10, then you want to be the best of the rest. As Colin has gone wide, letting through Cobalt, I believe. I'll just be checking that though. Yes, it is Cobalt who now leads the pack. Don't know who it is behind him. However, it's a blue boy. We should probably have numbers for each driver, but you know, I didn't think of that. Well, I didn't think of that at least. But no, Cobalt starts his lap, and behind him is J Jig. From Career Enders. Do love some of the names these guys came up with. Anyway, we'll ride on board with Cobalt and just see what he can do for us in today's race. Oh, Q2. As there seems to be someone who spun there. Ooh, yikes, 2 of them in the same sector. Well, section of the track. 3 of them as Collins retired. Oh, this is awful for Button's team so far. Colin has retired. And that's going to mean that out of Button's drivers, he has a maximum of 2 that can get into the top 10. Now, most teams would want all 5 or at least 3 in there. But unfortunately for Button, he'll be one of the teams that only has 2. At the moment, at least. Colin confirmed out unless people get disqualified. Very unlikely to happen, however, it may just do that. As Cobalt puts in the current pole time on the hards. A 1:29.1. That would have got him through. As Swanee... Oh no, sorry, that was Swanee's time. So Swanee with a 1:29.1. That will currently get him through to Q2. If it was, you know, last race. Or last 20 session. Quite a few drivers going in for the hards. Very interesting strats there. As Conal puts in a 1:30 dead on the hards. Very interesting to see that a lot of people looking for the hard strats to start off with. That's what I do in quali, and that's what I expect people to do. But Button's gone for the medium tyres. It's a 1:28.7. T-Funky with a 1:28.4 on the softs. T-Funky hoping that lap will put him through. I wonder who's the next nearest man. It is Sanka, who is the next guy to set himself a lap time. See, he's on a flyer here. What can he do? His brother currently in second position. They're in the same team. Can Sanka live up to the expectations given of him? He's got a car in front to the slipstream, but Swanee's moved over, not giving Sanka enough of a chance to do so. You know, at this point, Sanka's really got to think, can he get into that top 10? And it's a 1:30.1, which currently, apart from Willow, is the slowest lap time so far. Racing Maestro on a lap as well. He's chosen to go on the softs. He's run out of ERS just before the line, as it's a 1:28.3, and that is currently pole. Even though it's only first for now, but you know, it'll be pole if it was the race, not the racer. Q3. As you can tell, this is my first time commentating a full quali session, but there's a purple middle sector there for Bazooka Joe. Not Bazooka Joe, my apologies, Anton Bennett. I looked at Bazooka Joe's name and I was like, yes, that's him. That's our definitely German man. as Anton with 128.8. That's currently 4th. Splinter's currently got the hards on. I'll just show you everyone's best tyre. So as you can see, quite a few people choosing the hards so far. Willow, PG Killer, in a 129.7 on his hards. A lot of people in the 130s though, they're going to have to improve on that. I think at the moment, really, only the top 3 are guaranteed safe, and even then, they may not be. I like how I'm just watching a guy on his outlap. Is Anton Bennett choosing to improve? No, he's not. Okay. So I will go back and watch Splinter here. One man ready to make one good job for his team. Obviously, it's not just for your own team, it's also for yourself. You are trying to beat every driver around you, even if they're in your team. You know, it's still a race for points in the end of the day. And maybe 1 point difference in the Drivers' Championship. However, in the teams, you've got to think one position is worth a hell of a lot. It may just be, you may think it's just 1 point, but really, in truth, it's more than that. Because each driver adds up. You know, it's 5 drivers per team. If you get first place for your team, and they all get 17th, 18th, and 19th, and 20th, you know, you've basically got more points yourself than the rest of the team have. Splinter's just set a purple middle sector. A lot of people seem to be doing that at the moment. Cobalt on a brand new lap on some mediums after setting an earlier hard lap. All the hard guys choosing to go to the mediums. Mediums to go into softs as Splinter puts himself in 6th position, just behind the Swan Dog. Anyway, here's the leader of the American Dream himself, Cobalt, with 6 minutes and 10 to go. Cobalt has to set a good lap to be able to stay through. Only one, actually no team leaders or team captains have been eliminated yet. One is currently 3rd, another 8th, Cobalt in 10th and Deadwood 11th. I mean, at the moment, Deadwood could be out, and outed quite quickly. J-Jig also on a lap here. We'll move to him after Cobalt. Cobalt needs to improve if he wants to stay in. He's currently down in 10th. Just a slight improvement will beat his own teammate Conal, as it's a 128.8, and that is putting him in 4th position. J-Jig yet to set a lap. Neither has Bazooka Joe. Both of them in. I just need to actually figure. Just need to find their teams again. In career enders. Nico really needs them to stay in. Both J-Jig and Joe. Will this be a bad turn for career enders? As J-Jig puts in a 129.4 7th position, which moves Conal down and puts Nico's head firmly closer to the shopping block. If Bazooka Joe doesn't get a really good lap here, it could be curtains for him as well. He's got a purple first sector, so that's always promising. Sanka still in the pits. Deadwood Bear coming on an out lap. A few guys nearer the front as well, getting better times as Conal puts himself in 3rd, which has really helped out his team, which now puts Nico in the dead zone at the moment. 4 minutes left on the clock. The German giant Bazooka Joe, not just doing it for his team but doing it for his country, gets a purple 2nd sector. This could be the time to beat at the moment. A 1:28.3 is the fastest lap. Bazooka Joe can beat that. He knows he can. His team knows he can. But can he? As it will be a 1:29.1. Deary me. I thought that was going to be an amazing time, but no, Bazooka Joe really not doing so hot there. So unfortunately for career enders, Bazooka Joe only in 8th. As it looks like an improvement from, I don't actually, oh yeah, and that improvement has moved Splinter down into 10th and Willow again on the chopping block. Thank you so much to everyone who's joining us for the stream. We welcome all of you. Anyway, Deadwood needs to get a big improvement. Now the guys in the top 10, only Splinter has the hards set. Everyone else is either on soft or mediums. Let's see what they have got. Anyway, Deadwood barely getting on the curb. It's going to be a 1:28.5, which puts him in 4th position, which has now moved Splinter into the chopping block, well, onto the chopping block as well. A lot of people chopping and changing over this chopping block, and I like that. It wouldn't be fun if everyone just stayed in the same positions, would it now? But Willow also coming out now. I do wonder if Nico and Sanka, well, Sanka knows, but I wonder if Nico knows that he may be one of the next to go, and he could be the first team leader out of the multiplayer car qualifying session. Obviously, it's round 1 of many, so this result may count for something. It's only 1/6 of the total possible results you can get. And if a team ends up getting 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th in this race, they really would be the unstoppable force. Safety car is on, so is formation lap. However, any purposeful brought out safety cars will end up in a team deduction, as Cobalt has retired after setting his lap. He's now in 6th position. Bazooka Joe's retired. He's hoping that 9th will keep him sane. Nico's not coming back out. Unless nope, he's not. He's not coming out. Nico will be out. There is no doubt about that. 43 seconds to go. There's 100% 2 people out, meaning that some of the guys at the front could technically retire at this moment. Splinter puts himself in 5th, which means Bazooka Joe is there, and he possibly could be KO'd. Ryder has finished his lap here. Sanka and Jay have both just started theirs. They're both currently, like I say all the time, on the chopping block. They can quite easily have their qualifying sessions ended prematurely, as Nico is confirmed outside the top 10. So is Colin, obviously, as he retired. The top 4 look more or less safe. Bazooka actually, well, has more or less 3 positions, actually no, 4 that will 100% be taken, but Willow and Nico also out. Willow not with the greatest start, however things can improve. JG and Sanka still yet to set their laps, as well as Anton and Splinter. Anton and Splinter obviously don't really need to set these times, but they can if they want to. Anton Bennett has retired, so knowing that he is safe. Sanka, where will he go? DRS activated. He needs to get in there, and Sanka's 11th. J-Jig though, I don't know where he went it. What position? It's 3rd for J-Jig, which means he is safe. at the moment. And it is complete tears for Nico. He is the first man out of career ender, well, the first team leader to have gone. And not only that, but his teammate Bazooka Joe also gone. And unfortunately for Button, Sanka is also out with Colin, meaning it's just him. Actually, meaning that it's only him that's gone through. And finally, Willow being the first man, well, second man actually, from Stray Dog Racing to have been eliminated. Meaning that really it's a, well, 3v3 between Stray Dog Racing and American Dream, as well as the two men from Nico, three men from Nico's team, career enders, being Maestro, Jay and Anton, as well as just Button from Drive Forest Drive. So Button really representing a whole team here. So really, it's really strong, a really strong start from the American Dream and Stray Dog Racing. However, not so much of a good start from career enders. And I forgot what Button's team's called. And Drive Forest Drive. I'll remember these teams' names eventually. So with that, just drink some water. Cobalt was the first man to come out, so we'll go watch him. JG has also chosen to go on the mediums, which is weird considering you can pick the softs. Obviously, you have that option of a pair of softs. Yeah, if you want to use that, you can. With just over 12 minutes of quali. Our last 12 minutes left. And then we'll get into the race. So it's a 50% race, meaning all in all this should be finished just before 10 PM UK time. So yeah, just stick around for that. We're very excited to bring you this league, and you know, we're hoping you all enjoy it. At the moment, everyone seems to be on their outlaps, apart from Anton and Racing Maestro, who have both stayed in the pits at the moment. Anyway, LT Cobalt on a lap. Sector 3, there seems to be a yellow flag. That could have been someone's qualifying session ended right there and then. I believe it may have just been someone moving out of the way of someone else. Cobalt coming through. That's another yellow flag. Jeez, why is everyone holding up so much? As ER Store Phoenix just confirms that he had to turn his PlayStation off for some reason. I don't know why. He didn't explain, but he did have to, so yeah. Anyway, like I said earlier, American Dream versus Stray Dog Racing looks to be today's battle for the top 10. However, that doesn't mean they have the fastest drivers at the moment. That may mean that people have made mistakes in quali, or you know, things such as PS4's restarting have hindered other teams. With some strong drivers currently being out, it could mean that there could be an upset today. However, let's not also forget that there are many good drivers in here who, you know, definitely could push for, you know, getting the win today. Even some outside the top 10, as Splinter puts his car on pole. Cobalt seconds, 23rd. That whole team really looking like they are pushing for the top spots today. So they go in sector 2, which has gone on my mini-map. J-Jig going straight to the pits. Deadwood Bear putting himself in third with a time that's 200ths quicker than Swanee. Conal chucks in second. And I've just realised Cobalt's team actually has 4 drivers, not 3. So I don't know who I may have just given an extra driver to earlier. Oh no, I gave them an extra one to Stray Dog Racing. Oopsies. Anyway, Button's back, putting himself in third, 128.3. To everyone in the chat, welcome, welcome, welcome. We do enjoy seeing you all here today. And you know what? I actually think I'm going to join everyone in the chat as well. And oh my gosh, there's been a lot of messages in here and I haven't seen any of them. So I don't seem to be getting messages through the broadcast thing on PlayStation. So yeah, that's great. Anyway, I'll just read them out through here. It's T-Funky set at 133. I think he's going to try and improve that. A lot of people looking out for each other here in the chat. And also a lot of people just messing around. Pretty much how I got it. Marcel, I thought I got top 5 at least. Can't figure out why I'm so slow. You might want to check your controller. Sometimes the R2 trigger may be a bit busted on that. You'll need to check it. I was like, oh, here's Luke just saying T-Funky. Loads and loads and loads. Thanks, Luke. And yeah, Storm Phoenix. Well, I know you can. As currently Splinter is in first. It looks like Splinter will be the guy who could possibly get pole and confirm himself the first point already. However, I don't want to speak too soon. I do not want to speak too soon. See, T-Funky did improve his lap to 129.1, which is still theoretically last. Anton and Racing Maestro, both out on track. Racing Maestro just started his lap. J-Jig not going out yet. I don't think there's much point to. Well, I'm pretty sure he thinks that too. But as the track is clear, it possibly does mean that this is the best time to do so. Can we get T-Funky a shout out? Luke, no. He doesn't need a shout out. And I agree, that's a big oof. But another big oof is that Anton has just put himself on pole. Button, for choosing whatever number Anton was, you are a legend. Oh wait, sorry, I mean Nico, not Button. Keep thinking Nico's in the blue team. I'm like, eh. And I'm just like, blue team? No. They're called Lagbusters. Now, Racing Maestro, another man from Lagbusters. Sporting the number 25. We're going to see what he can do. Can he beat T-Funky's time and how high can he go? I mean, hopefully not too high. We don't drink and drive and don't race whilst high. Who is Falco? Man, he's Captain Falcon. Oh, sorry, it's Fabian. Not Falco, I just can't see. As Racing Maestro puts himself on, well, in third place. So currently, this team being... Did I just say Lagbusters? It's Career Enders, oh my gosh. Dear me, I'm having a nightmare today. Career Enders. But Button's back in Drive Forest Drive on an outlap along with the team leader of the American Dream, Cobalt. Obviously, one team leader currently out. The other 3 all fighting, 1 in 5th, 1 in 6th, and 1 in 7th. With only 3 minutes left to go. Time is ticking. And positions are up for grabs. You want to get pole. You want those points. It's now not just beat this. Now it's beat second place. Now it's get that first. Be the fastest out there. Do I back T-Funky for the win? Considering he's on 9th at the moment, no. I don't back anyone for the win. The only driver I back for the win is myself. Because I'm going to be the one witnessing this all firsthand and giving it to you live. So that's who I back. I back me because I support myself. Yeah. I don't support my voice though, as I'm pretty sure that will give out very, very soon. And by very, very soon, I mean now. Unbelievable. Unbelievable scenes, Jeff. Anyway, I'm still on board with Cobalt. Let's see, and by the time he gets into the end of the second sector, we'll compare his lap time and just see if he's currently improving. I'll actually move on to it now and just wait for him to get up there. I believe it's about now. Yes, it's slower in the first sector, faster in the second sector, Button faster in both sectors. Oh, Cobalt's possibly about to be beaten by Button here yet again. I say yet again because obviously Button's in front of him at the moment. But Cobalt may improve. How much though? I'll tell you. Now it's 4th place. It's beating his teammate Colonel as Button moves into second. Only milliseconds away from getting into first. Anyway, Colonel also on our lap. So is T-Funky. And my phone is somewhere and it's just gone off. Don't know who it was. Oh no, it's telling me that it's dead. Big shame. J-Jig on his lap. See, at the moment, he's the last man to set a lap. So if he got this invalidated, he would have been screwed. Racing Maestro back into the pits. He's happy with 4th. However, is anyone else happy with the laps? J-Jig has put himself in a 10th position. And so far, I don't think that's exactly what he wanted. So they're playing in Sector 3 for some reason. So just move on board with T-Funky. And Splinter has put himself on pole over 127.5. Anton is going to be fighting for that. Conal, I think, improved there to 4th. I'm not sure if he did. Without someone else improving. But some people went across the line. Conal retired from the session. Someone went in the pits. J-Jig retired. Button's finished. T-Funky has also finished. Cobalt has retired as well. Which leaves the last few men. Swanee, Deadwood Bear, Anton Splinter. Deadwood Bear confirming 7th. Can Swanee beat him? This could be a brilliant, and I mean brilliant, for Swanee as it's 8th position, meaning Anton is the last man who can improve. And currently, he's 3 tenths up. This man is 3 tenths up on his time. Possibly could be 4 here. And it's a 127.3. He's in there over Splinter. Splinter's lost out to Anton Bennett. Oh, poor Splinter. That is his qualifying over. So as we can see, Anton Bennett is the man who takes first place. Career enders get the first point along with Anton Bennett. then followed by a man from the American Dream, followed by the team captain of Forest Drive, then another American Dream lad, then another career enders, and then a few more team captains rounded up for the last few men as well. It looks like this will be an entertaining race. A lot of people here on varying strategies, as we will get into the race in just a moment. And by just a moment, I mean, like, you know, by the time everyone's readied up. Obviously, some drivers may have gone AFK, so it'll be very interesting to see. On what's going on, at least. Again, massive T-Funky fans. Cheers, Luke. We value your support. "20 drivers, many points up for grabs." So I'm not going to do the math right now, but there's quite a lot. It's actually oh, how many points are there available? Um, 16 plus 17 plus 18 plus 19 plus 20. 57. 74. 90. There's 90 points available for any team. Actually, technically 92 because of fastest lap. So, formation lap, as you can see, the top 4 all on the mediums. That is why this is so interesting. Racing Maestro on the softs, then Cobalt and Deadwood on the mediums, T-Funky and J-Jig on the softs, Bazooka Joe, Sanka and Willow all on the mediums, then soft medium, and Flex Marcel seems to have not started. Shadow Brisson on the only man on the hards, with Killer Clown on the mediums and Rai on the softs. Can I just say, no talking in chat, lads. Thank you very much. Oh, Rai seems to be back here with Storm Phoenix. Great one, lads. Are there people at the front up there? Oh, J-Jig and T-Funky. For goodness sake, lads. Anyway. Riding on board, as we can see Splinter already trying to overtake Anton. Come on, man. The 5 red lights haven't even gone out yet. A lot of naughty people jumping, oh well, trying to get to the grid earlier than they should be. As we can see, the array of all these cars. I have control of that for some reason. And away we go. It's a decent start for some driver. And there's 2 of the ready boys. Oh, when someone's already completely fucked it. Bazooka Joe over 10-second tyre penalty. I don't know what happened there. But it looks like there's infighting already with Conal overtaking Splinter. And Anton Bennett with the fastest start out of everyone, and Swanee's already ended up in somehow in the back. I don't know what's happened to him, but Anton is leading, and it looks like career enders are in front on points. Obviously I can't calculate them whilst we're in the race, but basically a lot of them are there. Oh, was Deadwood Bear has been shafted completely. I don't know who that was who just gave him the shaft, but for once it wasn't me. So safety car is on. at the moment. Oh, that's a massive mess up from Killer Clown and Nico. Oh, and Rise ended it up in the wall. Anyway, moving back to the front lot. Obviously, top 10 doesn't really matter at this moment. It's more about positions. Every position matters. Oh, and there's been a spin. There's been a spin or two, and oh my, there's a lot of people here. A lot of people. Again, you may be working in teams. However, it's still every man's points worth it. And I just did that as my volume was really high, so I'm just going to turn it down very, very quickly. Anton Bennett with the fastest lap of the race. I'm going to go back and see Flex Marcel going into the pits. He is the first. I think Sonny will also be joining him. I'm not sure though. Yes, he will be. Anton leads by over a second. Obviously, this is very competitive at the moment. A lot of drivers in a lot of positions. The biggest gap probably being Cobalt at this point. And that's actually gone down now, but excluding Flex, you know, there's a lot of big gaps. Cobalt's just been overtaken by T-Funky. Oh, there's been a crash. There has been a crash. T-Funky and Cobalt both went into each other as T-Funky can't even take this corner. He's been overtaken by Shadow Britain here. And now he's trying to fight back. He's got no front wing. This is awful for T-Funky. Sank has been overtaken by Colin as well. T-Funky trying his best with a broken front wing. However, it's really not helping out. Nico Rosberg behind Rai here. He's going to go for the move. Rai opening up to the major inside line as he completely cuts the corner there, missing it really badly as another big bunch of pit stops at the back. We've got Racing Maestro on Button's back, Conal chasing them down as well. You know, these guys are fighting for these positions. However, they have to realise they're not the only ones for their team. See, there is really no Drivers' Championship here. Even though you earn points for yourself, and yes, there will be technically a Drivers' Champion, that's not as important as the Team Championship. Whereas in F1, it's more about the Drivers' Championship. Here, it's about which team can come out on top. That's a 3/10 gap between Colin and Deadwood Bear. Also Racing Maestro on Button's back here. Conal on the back of Racing Maestro as well. Racing Maestro currently on the softs, hence why he's been able to keep up so much. A lot of drivers have chosen to go on the hard tyres. A few on the softs though. Well, one on the soft at least. After his pit. No safety car so far. The DRS obviously just been enabled at last lap. So we're going to see some big DRS trains. As Button's back's been overtaken by Racing Maestro, Conal was dropped off. We're looking at this battle here, but I don't think there will be much to look at. So yellow flag in sector 3, I'm not sure where that is. At the moment, actually I do, it's Flex Marcel who's in the wall. Flex Marcel has retired. I don't know if that was forcibly or if he's just chosen to retire. But Flex is out. Which means at the moment he won't be getting many points, only one so far. Obviously, like I said earlier, if you leave the session without retiring, then you don't get any points. Unless you left like way over halfway. However, if you retire, you will get the points for the position you retired in. As Bazooka Joe and Colin have been fighting each other. Sanka's also on the back of this battle too. Sanka obviously in the same team as Colin. So really they want to work together. So, oh, Sanka's trying to force his way past. And this is not a good start. Willow's also with Jay here. No, and no, the thing lies. Sanka's got past Colin. And that is another position. Storm Phoenix on the back of Killer Clown. And he's backed out of it. Meanwhile, it's not so much of a good start for T-Funky and Cobalt. They've obviously had to have a pit stop. Cobalt fights for positions. No, what's happened to Racing Maestro? I don't know. Have a look here. All I know is you just reset the track. As Deadwood Bear with the biggest dive bomb since Hiroshima. But Willow's also just had a spin here. And he will probably be out just... Oh, he'll be in just in front of Sankey dead. Quite a few spins so far from the drivers. Obviously, multiplayer cars are very new to some people. This is the first game they implemented, and people don't really go online in ranked lobbies too much. I find unranked so much better. You say you're less likely to be taken out. And it's still a really high probability, but like, you know, it's less than normal. Anyway, Deadwood, Close on Racing, Maestro, ER, Storm Phoenix and Nico here. Nico obviously one of the few drivers with no assists, another one being Deadwood Bear, as well as Swanee 2K15. But it looks like Killer Clown is closing in on Nico. Cobalt trying his best to get close to T-Funky. Both of them on the hards and both of them fighting positions. Racing Maestro has just joined into the pits. J, Jig and Splinter on each other as well. Conal's overtaking Buttons back. And Splinter defends well. J, Jig just runs into him a bit. And Splinter with no assist as well. So a lot of these drivers fighting for these positions, you know, against people who run less assists than them, which is nice. I like to see a varied amount of, you know, I like to see people with no assists actually pushing themselves, and people are learning as well to, you know, reduce the amount of assists they have. But that's not the point here. The point here is to see who can get moves done. I can tell you a few people have. Heck, a lot of people have got moves done. And to prove that, we're going to look at position change, with the most currently being Storm Phoenix with +8, as well as Shadow Brixton with +7. Jade, Jig and Bazooka, as well as Willow and Killer Clown also quite up there, quite good with position changes. However, it's been an awful start from Swanee. Storm Phoenix and Nico fighting each other, as we were just watching Sanka for a little while. I'm going to move back on to Killer Clown, who's 7 tenths behind Nico. As J Jig has gone into the pits. Dutton's back, still trying to close in on Conal. But Anton Bennett really just running away with it so far. He has fastest lap too, which is very, very good for his cause. Ryder and Deadwood on the same team here, just battling for position. It's a fair move, and the two teammates really want to hold each other up. Willow will take the position with Deadwood going behind. Obviously, Deadwood actually isn't communicating with his teammates at the moment, which is very interesting. A lot of teams aren't doing that apart from Cobalt's. And even then, only Conal can't hear them. So it's very much team game, is just trusting your teammates rather than actually being able to sort out strategy. Maybe they might do it in some of the next streams, I don't know. Anyway, Deadwood still 3 tenths off. Here, Nico doesn't look like he's anywhere near close enough to make a move on Storm Phoenix. However, T-Funky looks like he wants to get back at Cobalt, as Cobalt runs wide. T-Funky here. Gonna make that move. And it's hard runner on hard runner. We'll remove that. As we can see, it's tight as hell. The two of them going side by side. And it looks like Cobalt has been defeated. Willow is also overtaking Deadwood Bear for another time. As Nico is still closing in on Storm Phoenix. He's not going to go for the dive, which is a smart move. Well, yeah. Cobalt trying to close on T-Funky here. And he's got the move done. However, will T-Funky get the switch back? I don't think he will. However, he will have DRS. See, this DRS section isn't too long. Storm Phoenix has left, which may mean that he might need an invite back. I'm hoping he can join it back. Obviously, at this point, he's going to be unlucky if his internet keeps playing up like that. Obviously, I can't, unfortunately, invite, so I'm going to have to trust the admins of the league to do so. Otherwise, Storm Phoenix may be out to lose a few more positions than he should be. T-Funky not close enough to make a move yet either. Racing Maestro on the back of Killer Clown. Maestro here already made a pit stop. However, he is looking to get past the American in front of him. He's got DRS. He's side by side with the Clown Man. The fans are cheering. I'm cheering. There's a little bit of contact, but Racing Maestro's got the position done, and he is up into 12th position. Anyway, T-Funky on Cobalt, up the inside. It's another move, exactly the same. Cobalt looking to get the switch back. However, it's not going to happen here. J-Jig is just re-overtaking Racing Maestro. Will that happen here? I don't think it will. Cobalt has to yield. Very unfortunate for him. Maestro now on J-Jig. I actually think those two are fighting each other. I didn't realise that, but J-Jig may have just cut a corner there. Anyway, that's whatever. The Anton Bennett has just set another fastest lap. You know, I thought Kona was kind of gaining on him, but nope. He hasn't. Storm Phoenix has rejoined back, which means he should be able to get into his car easily before T-Funky catches up. However, that time loss will be a big detriment to him and his team. F1 buttons back 1.2 seconds behind Conal now. J-Jig running wide. Racing Maestro going to overtake his teammate. Easy enough move. Jay's just hit the back of Maestro. Maestro braking a lot earlier than probably expected. As a Cobalt makes literally the same move that T-Funky keeps making on him. And J-Jig and T-Funky. And not there, you can't really give space, which is kind of unfortunate. But T-Funky does get the move back. Meanwhile, Swanee is closing in on Colin. See, these hard runners probably going to the end at the moment, apart from Shadow Britain. And speaking of shadows, this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Had to get that in once, didn't I? I had to. Like, why wouldn't I? As Button's back is overtaking Splinter. There's a yellow flag somewhere. Conal into the pits. So he's going to the hards very early. Quite a few drivers actually in the pits right now. Deadwood Bear also joining him. Sanka moving up positions. Well, actually, quite a few drivers are. As Kona will come out just in front of Shadow Britain. You know, Deadwood Bear looks like he may be dropping quite a few. Even, in fact, to Killer Clown. You know, every extra position is one that you could have kept if you waited just a little bit longer. And he's now going to be in the middle of this battle between Storm Phoenix, T-Funky, Cobalt and Swanee. Well, no, not Swanee, my apologies. Just Cobalt. Storm Phoenix defending one man on the left or one man on the right. There's 4 different teams here and 3 of them are fighting right now. And oh, it's been a spin. It's T-Funky. And he unfortunately hit Storm Phoenix there. LCFC has retired from the session, making him the second man out of here. There's a yellow flag in the 3rd sector. I'm not sure where he crashed. I don't know if there's a yellow flag. Sorry, not a yellow flag, but a safety car. It looks like there's not. There's a great 3-wide battle. Just unfortunate that someone decided to do a Sebastian Vettel. And by that I mean spin, not, you know, be German. Let's just hope none of these guys have similar pits. Luckily, they don't. I've had that before, where you've been put in the same pit in multiplayer cars. My DualShock's battery level is low. That's fun. So I'm not going to change that until after this stream. Anyway, Conal has got buttons back on the restart. Well, not restart, but you know, after his pits. Shadow Britain overtaking Bazooka Joe. Willow has just come up behind Nico. As Storm Phoenix is a penalty for speeding into the pit lane. And like I said, every position counts here. So penalties like that really aren't helpful for some drivers. Anyway, the top 3 at the moment yet to stop. And it looks like Willow here is just in between some blue cars at the moment. Obviously blue for career enders, but will this stray dog be able to not have his career ended? He's got past 1, and luckily for him that was the team captain. As Anton and Splinter both into the pits. Most likely both of them on hards. Anton has chosen the hards himself. Splinter, I believe, also onto the hards. Yes, Sanka's coming in for the same treatment. Conal now. May have been a lap too early. And indeed it was. Anton has beaten him. And Splinter... Ooh, it's tight, but Buttons back has just beaten Splinter. There's a few drivers, well, quite a few drivers getting many overtakes. JJ obviously with a damaged wing here. Sankey, you're dead in 10th position. After that, Deadwood Bear right into 11th. Nico and Killer Clown both into the pits too. So everyone looks like they've made their main stop. Oh, it's Sanka and Deadwood. Sanka not giving much space, but Deadwood still making it. Oh, it's wheel to wheel. Wheel to wheel around this part of Sector 2. Scary, but also thrilling to watch. Anyway, Willow PG Killer on the softs. The only man currently on these tyres. Now, I might remind you that these tyres won't go to the end, so Willow will need to change. Bazooka Joe at the moment, also on the hards. And Shadow Britain, probably Shadow Britain, Cobalt and T-Funky, and maybe Swanee will definitely have to change tyres again. Or maybe they won't. Depends how good their tyre wear is. Oh, so mediums do about 12 laps. Maybe like 14 at a push. However, the hards can go quite a while here. The strat is medium to hards, or if you want to push it, you know, you can go soft to mediums. Oh, sorry, not soft to mediums, soft to hards. And Shadow Britain here, overtaken by Bazooka Joe. Willow with his teammate Bazooka Joe going really wide. Shadow Britain, I don't think. Shadow Britain may have just given Willow that position. So their teammates after all. Willow at the moment quite fast, and looks like he may be able to catch Bazooka Joe. As Jay's into the bits with his penalty as well. There's a yellow flag in the first sector. Not sure who or what that was, but it happened. There's another one. There's another one. It's J-Jig. I don't know what's happened, but J-Jig. Oh no, it's not J-Jig. It's Killer Clown. Killer Clown is out. And that is one man from almost every single team out of this race. Anton with the fastest lap yet again. And boy, this is exciting. Splinter and Button gonna try and go at it. And yep, I was right, that's one man per team out, apart from the career enders. See, they're ending other people's careers already. As Willow's just got the move past Bazooka Joe. Bazooka Joe gonna go round the outside. Oh, and is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough? Bazooka Joe left very little room by Willow. And the German has got the position back. It's beautiful to see. Willow tried so hard for that dive. The yellow flag in sector 2/3. As these two going side by side, wheel to wheel. It's beautiful. It's actually beautiful. The both of them just going at it like cat and dog, like Tom and Jerry. Oh, it's beautiful. As anyway, Bazooka Joe still trying his best. He's got the position so far. Willow can get it back. Oh, sorry, no. Willow has a position. Bazooka Joe can get it back. I've toned it down a little bit. I realised my volume was a little bit higher listening to the stream in the background. As there's a yellow flag in the first sector, Bazooka Joe getting a position done. Shadow Britain into the pits now as well. I don't know who the yellow flag was, but it was someone. And Shadow Britain in for the mediums. This battle up here is amazing. The battle at the front probably is amazing as well. No, it's not that great. So basically this is what we're looking at. At the moment this is the battle. And Conal spun it. Conal has spun. And he's going to rejoin just in front of Bazooka Joe. And Willow as well. Ooh. Which means at the moment I actually don't know which team is in front. You know, in fact, only 3 of the 4 teams have their drivers in the top 5. And only 2 of them have 2 drivers. As Willow spun it. Is Willow out? Is Willow out? Oh, Willow is just in. Is it? He comes back round. He's got wing damage. That means Willow's probably going to have to pit very, very soon. Cobalt's on the back of Sankey, you're dead. Sanka may be dead soon. 12 laps left to go. There's a yellow flag in the first sector again. What the fuck? How's there another one? I don't know how there's another one, but Willow's into the pits for a wing change. Is someone been lapped yet? Oh yes, J-Jig has been lapped. And Cobalt's got the move done on Sanka there, but Sanka's going back up the inside. You know what? I respect that. I respect. That is worth the respect. Willow onto the hards. I don't know why he hasn't gone for the mediums. Maybe didn't have any left. But Willow now down all the way to 15th. One mistake can do you like that. Oh, there was almost contact there between Cobalt and Sanka. See, Cobalt on quite old hards. Sanka on more or less fresh hards. T-Funky's also in this train and he could get in on the battles very, very quickly. This is the fight for each position between 3 different teams. Anton Bennett, though, currently rolling away with the league. Well, the lead, sorry. J-Jig. Oh, J-Jig has retired as a virtual safety car. I wonder what's going to happen under this virtual. But Racing Maestros use this opportunity for a pit. That is a brilliant use of time. Willow is going to be regretting that. Cobalt was also coming. And DRS has been re-enabled. Nobody's really able to use it apart from Shadow Britain on Colin. Swanee's also come in. Nico's going to get the position. Cobalt onto the mediums. Nico's got a position on Cobalt. And so has Shadow and Colin. And Cobalt's going to be right in on this fight. Meanwhile, just looking around, all the battles have really ceased apart from this one between Shadow, Colin and Cobalt. Colin on 13 lap old mediums. He's going to have to pit soon, but I think he's waiting for that perfect time to go to the softs. So yellow flag somewhere in sector 2 for some reason. Oh, it's not for some reason, it's Deadwood Bear. Don't know what's happened to the man, but he ended up in a wall, or off the track at least. He actually got 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. What on earth? Don't know how he could when he lost the car. But anyway, I digress. T-Funky looks to be gaining in on Sankey dead. So T-Funky might go in the pits very soon. 16 lap old hards, maybe. Just like Colin at the moment. Oh, Cobalt trying a dangerous move there. Never would have worked. And yep, Colin enters to the pit. Cobalt lost that time more or less for nothing. Is he going to try the dive on Shadow? Ooh, he tried it and then has given the position back. I mean, that's fair enough. Both of them going side by side. I will instantly move on to the battle in front here, as Shadow and Willow are on the same team. Storm Phoenix with a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. Obviously, he can still go fastest lap. Any driver out the back can do that. Anyone can go fastest lap. That's why it's so brilliant. If you're a lap behind, or you're too far behind to gain another point, you know, just pit, go fastest lap. Simple. Yeah, that's the brilliance of having a fast lap for anyone, because it makes everyone fight for a point. As Splinter and Button, ooh, Button's are lagging a little bit here. This is not nice. He's also got the engine glitch, which again sounds awful. There's also another battle between Shadow, Cobalt and Willow. We've also got Colin, sorry not Colin, Conal being challenged by the greasy German Bazooka Joe. With that cornering, no, he's not being challenged. As Cobalt and Willow have both been overtaken at once here. Willow's going to come back through on Cobalt. And Cobalt on the fresh mediums, getting stuffed by a man on hards. Oh, I've seen it all. Well, actually, no, I haven't. I haven't seen it all. That's why I'm still commentating this shit. Anyway, with only 8 laps to go, Splinter is closing in on Button. He's made the move. He's doing it for the American dream. And that's what that team's all about. A dream. Conal and Bazooka Joe. Wheel to wheel. Neck and neck. All the Germans versus the Irish. Conal really wanted to get that slipstream. Bazooka Joe gains the position. T-Funky into the pits now for fresh tyres. Probably the softs. Oh, as Bazooka Joe's been rear-ended by Conal. Listen, Conal, man, if you want to rear-end anyone, don't do it to the German. Oh, he's done it again. It's just a love tap, it's a hickey. Nothing more. And Bazooka Joe takes the position though. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, and that's... who's that off? That's Deadwood Bear. Don't know what's happened there, but Deadwood Bear. I'm a poet. Just off the track. Don't think he likes Bahrain. Really don't. Anyway, Willow and Cobalt fighting for position here. If anyone has penalties, they're really going to affect them, because most people are very, very close to each other. Obviously, each position matters. T-Funky also now in this train, in this fight, in for a win. Conal and Bazooka Joe fighting at it again. Nico, the leader of this this 3-man train, as T-Funky is overtaken Shadow Britain. But Shadow will be able to get DRS back on him. This turn was overtaking Bazooka Joe. Willow down the inside of Nico. And Cobalt's now got his turn. But Nico also has DRS. This won't be too easy for Cobalt. Cobalt on one side, Nico goes for the other. Oh, as Cobalt gets the move done and is now up into 10th position. And Cobalt surely is going around the outside. Don't think that will get him a move done, unfortunately. As Conal, don't know what's happened to him, but he's retired from the session. And Conal is out. I believe he must have spun it there. He wasn't forced to retire, I think he just chose to retire. Don't know what happened. However, he is out of this race. And that is a big blow for Cobalt's team. That's the second driver out. Yikes. Oh, as Cobalt's just lost it as well. That's another few positions that... oh, and there's another one. There's another one. It's Willow. Oh, no. Willow's done the same mistake again. Oh, this is a tragedy for him. I don't know how many stops he's going to have to make now. But that may be another one. Possibly. Or he can fight to keep his hopes alive. I think... is that what he's doing? No, he's going in the pits. And I think he knows that he's probably going to lose that position to Swanee anyway. And that, to me, is just a big yikes. Colin's been able to overtake Willow through the pit stops. Shadow Britain will be up into 15th. Not really many fights at the moment in the last remaining laps. Willow now officially lapped by Anton. And, you know, this big train is just having fun. Like, rest in peace everyone who's not part of this. That really, everyone's just pushing now to do their best. I think the nearest two on this train are Cobalt and Nico. See, Shadow and T-Funky want to get away. They're both part of the same team. You know, these points for them are decent. You know, you've beaten quite a few members of an opposition team. And I'm sure all the stray dogs will be happy with this result. However, I am in belief that Nico's team... Oh wait, no, as Jay's out. Ignore me then. Cobalt's getting the move done on Nico. But I do believe that every team has at least one man out. So, yes, they do actually. So, Forest Drive has Flex Marcel out. Stray Dog Racing has Rai out. American Dream has Killer Clown and Colonel out. And unfortunately, Career Enders have Jay out. Anton with the fastest lap yet again. And that's another one. Another one. So every team with at least one man out at the moment. Which is rather interesting. None of them forced crashes, I do believe. However, you know, that will confirm that a lot later once we see the incident report. There now seems to be a fight between Anton and Storm Phoenix. Or is that Willow? Oh no, it's Willow just trying to unlap himself. Going fastest lap, you know, same old. As anyway, Cobalt versus Shadow Britain. Cobalt's going to want this position as quickly as possible. He's going for the overtake, and it's done and dusted. Is he got a flag in sector 2/3? Oh, please don't say that's Willow. Please no. Oh, it's not Willow. It's Anton. Anton has spun it, which means Splinter could end up here. And he's got a lot closer now. It's only 4 seconds the gap. Oh, that is interesting. That is interessante. Willow the fastest lap of the race, meaning he has 1 extra point. Oh, Maestro and Sanka are also fighting each other. This is just like the peak of Rising Phoenix right here. Maestro versus Sanka. I'm loving it. Shadow Britain in a sweet 10th position at the moment. And he'll be a man to pick up 11 points if he can keep this position. You know, it's only 9 points off the leader. You know, nobody's really out of it at any point in the season unless you are at the back constantly. You always have a chance to improve and, you know, get better. Anyway, we'll move on to Sanka. Currently facing Racing Maestro for some points. Willow also trying to close in on Colin. His softs should be going off very, very soon. You know, just like Shadow Britain's mediums, you know, they'll probably be going off by the last lap or so. But the softs especially, like they'll be really worn. There's no doubt on that. Anyway, Sanka will have DRS. I don't think he'll be able to make a move though. Racing Maestro at this point, just a bit too far away. And I think at this gap between Racing Maestro and Bazooka Joey is just massive. It's kind of unfortunate, really. Deadwood Bear also on the back of this train. Shadow Britain just about in DRS of Cobalt. But Cobalt is gaining away. It's not looking too good for some drivers here. Stanker 1.4 seconds behind. And most drivers are at a gap now. I don't think we'll see many more battles in the last few remaining laps. In fact, I doubt we'll see any in the last few remaining laps. Gets oh, this session no longer exists. That's peak. I need an invite back. So I just told the admins I need an invite back. Apparently, I got kicked out. That's fun. I don't know why I got kicked out, considering I was still in the lobby, but oh well. So I'll just read the comments, because like, I can. That's not the comment section, is it? No, it's not. Still haven't got my invite. God damn it, I need the invite ASAP. Killer Clown, thank you. For some reason, Cobalt's now the host. Oh no. Rest in peace, everyone. I'll get back to the race. Hopefully, nothing's changed. I pray. I'm actually praying at this point. We're more or less on the last lap anyway. Just unfortunate that happened. Well, and oh, we're back on the same lap. Okay, well, let's just have a look at the full track. Everything. Yeah, so it's Anton starting lap 29, Splinter second, Button third. See, as you can see, Bazooka Joe 4th, Racing Master 5th, Sanka 6th. Everything's looking around about the same, apart from Deadwood Bear, who I think stopped on some fresh softs. So he's for some reason going to have the fastest lap. Don't know if he had to spin or whatever, but everything's a possibility at this point in the race. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get to see much. But Willow's overtaken Colin. So that's just kind of happened. Unfortunately, I can't really see gaps at the moment, so yeah. Only if I cross the line I can really see. But Nico's being pressured by Swanee here, so we'll take a look at that. As Swanee is going to get 10th place. Will it be enough though? Oh, Nico's locked up. Swanee's going around the outside. As Deadwood Bear crosses the line, he's now got to do his fastest lap. Colin, for some reason, came through there. Willow's also doing stuff. Swanee with the inside line. Nico with the out, and that is that at the moment. But anyway, there's still a few fights to go on. Anton wins. Splinter second. We have to watch the fights though. These still matter for points. Buckens back taking third. It's Bazooka Joe in fourth. And Racing Maestro, is he going to take fifth? At the moment, no, he's nowhere near the finish line. Yes, he is. Sanka will be in sixth. T-Funky will probably come home in the 7th position. Yep, he does. Cobalt in 8th, plus a 5-second penalty. Shadow actually taking 8th from him. Cobalt 9th. Swanee coming home in 10th. Nico 11th. And is this Deadwood Bear's fastest lap? He needs it. And it is. Deadwood Bear steals it off his teammate Willow. As Colin is confirmed for 14th, I believe. Yep, with Storm Phoenix on 15th. And that was a good race. I loved it. 3 British men on the podium. Do love that. All of them are happy for the first round of our multiplayer car league. And I'll tell you now, the first official winner is Anton Bennett with his team of career enders. So well done, career enders. You're our winners of the first race, technically, but also not technically. So we have to still scroll down to see the rest. So here's the bottom lot. Your top 3, brilliant stuff. Unlucky to those who retired. Unlucky to those who got penalties. But I mean, wow, what a race. What a fucking race. Bazooka Jolty got a 10-second time penalty, which really hindered him. However, stuff happens. So, anyway, I've been your host. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.